All right. What's going on, Backyard Wrestling fans and Backyard Wrestling Nexus fans? What's going on? I am your host here for the FBW Undisputable podcast. It is Anthony Aries. And on the fourth edition of the Undisputable podcast, we have a little special guest over from Australia across the world. We have Striker from ETW. What's up?
Hi, didn't expect to be on the Undisputable podcast so soon, but
Yeah,
it's like 12 in the morning right now, so
12 in the morning. Look
love
at
to
that.
see it, love to see it.
Yeah. So the fans probably don't know who you are. So let's talk
They
about.
probably don't know who I am.
So they probably. I mean, you never know. I mean, hopefully, some of the FBW fans have checked out the Backyard Wrestling Nexus because that
Oh
shit's
yeah, true.
Gucci.
You know that ETW main event of Uprising, you know?
Oh yeah, you guys main evented Uprising. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I chose the main event. I chose you guys or whatever.
Yeah, I appreciate that
For
you
sure,
guys
for sure.
or you
See, like
decided to
I
have
could have been greedy and given FBW the main event, but I was like, I'm not gonna be foul like that. Like that's just
yeah.
fucked up. But I chose the opening match. I was like, shit, I'll be the first thing everybody sees. So I don't
I
know.
mean
Maybe that's a little more greedy, but fuck it.
I wouldn't say it's greedy. I just say it's like your company like introducing and opening up the show. I mean, you're the like one hosting it, so
I mean, yeah, I'm the founder.
you might as well.
But
You might as
anyway,
well.
so let's get into the story of Strikers. So how did you get into backyard wrestling?
Good question. How I got into backyard wrestling was how I got into it. I was wanting to do some type of wrestling for a while, and I just didn't know exactly how I was going to do it, but I knew I was. And I just decided eventually, it came around in my mind that I wanted to eventually have a backyard wrestling,
Company, yeah.
thing. Yeah, I didn't even know it was called backyard wrestling. Like, I just wanted to do wrestling and do it on YouTube. And so I got a few, uh, you know, there was Cyclone. Well, I actually talked about it. Like, I like to say I had the wanting to start backyard wrestling on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love fans messaging you. I'd like to say I wanted to do backyard wrestling for 2 months or so, 2 3 months before I actually did it
Oh
and
yeah.
made it reality.
Oh shit.
And yeah, I'd like to say that it was around 2 to 3 months. The second month, or the first month, I brought it up to my mom in the car. I told her, hey, I wanna actually do this for YouTube and do this as a thing. Like, I legit want to make this. I want to become a professional wrestler.
Was she
And
supportive?
yeah, she's very supportive about it. And she's like, all right, you know what? If that's what you want, I'll support you all the way. Like,
Damn.
you've been wanting to do something like this for a while, and you've been talking about it. You've liked it for quite a while now, and you can do this.
So, you see, my
And
my parents, they they're cool with me wrestling or whatever, but they're always like, you got to go to college, get a real career. Wrestling's, not, the classic parents or whatever. But I mean, my parents are
yeah,
like supportive. Like my dad, he got me a gig actually at his church's carnival that's coming up. So now I'm wrestling in front of a live crowd. But low key, he still thinks down his side, like, man, you should go to college and get like a real career or whatever.
oh yeah, isn't it FBW Carnival?
Carnage,
Carnage?
yeah,
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 Carnival. Stay
yeah,
tuned for that. Stay tuned for FBW's Carnival Carnage coming up.
yeah. I'm probably gonna sell DVDs of the event before
You might
uploading
as
it.
well. You might as
Yeah, because I
well.
mean, might as well get some money out of it. But
Exactly.
it's gonna be dope. But back onto your
Exactly.
story.
Oh yes. And I told my mom about it. She was pretty supportive of it. I was expecting to get it around my birthday to start it up actually on a pay-per-view.
So
Well,
so you're the founder of ETW.
well, yes, me. Well, actually, yeah, you can say that. Me, and another person, which was Cyclone, which I don't know if you want to bring him up in this eventually, but him and me, um, came up with. Well, yeah, I came to him about it because since I knew he liked wrestling as well, and him and me were friends for a while. I was like, hey, would you like to, you know, do a wrestling thing with me? I've been having it on my mind for a while, and I know you like it. I know I like it. How about we do this for YouTube? And he was like, yeah, yeah, sure, we'll do it, definitely.
So it's kind of
And
like
so,
what happened with me and Chris, because like Chris
well, yeah,
founded it with me, but like I'm like the main dude or whatever. Like I deal with everything.
oh yeah, and even though we say that I might as well just full on break kayfabe here because there's no, I won't admit it openly, but you know, I am the original owner, as much as I hate to admit it. I mean,
I mean, this
what
is what
can
this podcast is all about, you know.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, everybody always says I used to own the company before Gunshot had it. I mean, he pretty much said that I owned it originally anyway, so no
And now
point in
this
hiding
now
now.
this gunshot owner, like that's legit or whatever.
Yeah, that's legit. That's
Because like he told me
100.
he actually bought the company from you guys or
Oh
whatever.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's legit.
He bought the company from me, and yeah,
Now
he
that's
bought
wild
it.
because like a few months ago, like if someone told you, hey, this dude named Gunshot is gonna buy your company, you probably would have been like, who the fuck's Gunshot?
Oh yeah, definitely. I easily would have thought that because I don't watch too much backyard wrestling. Well, now lately I've been watching a bit more, but I only back in 2019, 2020, I only watched like what MEBW, EBW, and CMW, and that was pretty much it. And then when I went to go check out other companies, I don't know, they just never exactly clicked until
Mm-hmm.
like now. Like after being in the yard more, you just learn to appreciate those smaller companies a lot more.
Like everybody's story, yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
And
do you have like a like if you can say if you can give like a top three like of your favorite backyard wrestling companies like now who are still active and up and running, what would those companies be?
oh, that is extremely tough. That is extremely tough right there.
Because I mean, we got a lot of close friends and we got a lot of good companies in the BYWN.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I like to say I'm a fan of YBW with Aaron Blaze and T
Okay.
Bone. Fans of theirs. Um, Fans of theirs. I'd like to also say EBW, even though I don't watch exactly the most of it, I still
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the product from time to time when I check it out. Uh, just checking it out now, why not? Oh yeah, they did their backyard insanity match. I watched that with Jack Delta's last appearance there,
Mm-hmm.
EBW, and having a third one's tough. I want to say like WWA. I'd want to
Mm-hmm.
say that, even though I don't exactly watch like. Actually, no. You know what? BTW, I believe, the one that RJS used to be a part of before he got retired.
All right.
I
All
believe
right.
that's what it's called. Yeah, BTW.
See, like
But
I don't watch much backyard wrestling. I mean, I watch like whoever's in the BYWN, because I gotta be like up to date with like like what I gotta upload and who's like on fire right now. But like, I mean, like I started watching like ESW, you know, Extreme Showdown Wrestling with like Alex G and like all them people. And then Dangerous Grove Wrestling, which I believe they shut down a couple years back. But like I never watched these companies like full time, like every day, but like, you know, I pretty
Hmm.
much only watch whoever's in the back of the Wrestling Nexus, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sorry, I'm just eating some food since I'm eating my dinner, like I said earlier. But
Dinner at 12 in the morning? God damn.
yeah, I know that this is like a one-off thing. Like this rare, like this barely
He
happens. Like
said
this
he
is
said I needed that, you know, carbs for the, you know, the energy for these podcasts.
yeah, exactly. I need that. I delayed dinner to have to keep me going for this podcast.
Damn, I haven't ate at all today. Like I've had like half of a water bottle. I'm playing in them games right now. But
That's what I always That's what I always do when it gets to those filming days, like on a Saturday, because we normally film on Saturdays. I like never have food until like dinner. I'm like, oh, wait a second, I haven't had food today.
man. So we talked about, you know, the beginning of ETW or whatever. So let's talk about you for a sec. So where did you come up with the name Striker?
Honestly, that's a really good question. I like these questions you got going on here.
Yeah,
You've,
you know, I'm a pretty damn good, you know, podcast. Now I'm Anthony Aries. Come on, I'm good at everything.
I mean, you got the curse of making good podcasts.
Yeah.
Um, I've actually. Oh wait, oops, did not want to go on that video. I was just going onto my channel. I've actually explained this question on the Q&A video I made like a year ago.
Oh
But
shit, you have.
Since we've got a bigger audience, not many people check out my channel, especially like people from FBW.
I mean, if you FBW fans haven't checked out, you know, ETW or like any of the Backyard Wrestling Nexus companies, you guys really should. On the featured channel list on this, you know, channel, I have the Backyard Wrestling Nexus page featured, so you guys definitely should go check out. You know, we got a new series called BYWN Explosion, which features all these companies weekly every Monday. So, what you guys waiting for? Click on that damn channel, bro. God damn.
Yeah,
It's like a crime
exactly.
if you haven't. So
You'll be missing out if you haven't.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Like we had two episode explosion episodes already filled with some bangers. But back onto what is the origins of the name Striker?
Origins of Striker.
Like
I
where did you come up with the name? You know, I like hearing, you know, stories of like, you know, all these like wrestlers' names because I mean like there's a lot, you know, picking, you know, a name or whatever.
Yeah, there's those honestly some about like stories are more like interesting, others like uh Gunny's names with Chase Steele, Chase Steele with like
Mhm.
that one with his OMW that promotion when he's got to go there eventually.
Which
And
he'll
Gunny
be
as
known
well.
as Chase Steele in FBW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, I'm just that. Why do I have a mind blank all of a sudden? Chase Steele, Gunshot, same guy, like same gimmick, just different names.
I
And
mean, some people want to be
yeah,
more professional, you know, because gunshot's just kind of like gunshot, you know.
I was gonna say you guys are wanting to get more professional, so that's understandable that you want to like have his name changed to something a bit more, you know,
Professional, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, see me, my first name was ALM, like way back. And that kind of was put together last minute because I couldn't think of a good name. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna be ALM, my initials. And then I had my daughter and her what do you call it? Her sign or
Star
what
sign
yeah,
Aries.
her zodiac sign is Aries. So I kind of
That's what
just put my real name and her zodiac sign and I created Anthony Aries. I was like, no, fuck that. That sounds pretty cool, But on the other hand, I was like, that's kind of close to Austin Aries, but he don't really wrestle no more. So I was like, fuck it, I'm Anthony Aries.
I think Anthony Aries works.
I mean, yeah.
But going back to the striker name, I wanted to come up when I originally had a name, like a different name, but this was before the yarding date, like when I actually did backyard wrestling.
So you had a different name at one point.
Yes, but it was like for like the WWE 2K games.
Okay, I want to hear that one real quick.
If I'm being dead honest with you, I can't even remember what I was called.
but before you get into the story of like the name Strike or whatever, you want to hear my my wrestling game name?
All right, you know what? Sure.
Okay, so I started playing like the wrestling games, like I've played all of them, right? But I think my first game that I got, like when I started getting all these games, was SmackDown versus Raw 2009. And then after getting 2009, I like got in like 08, 07, 06, 05, like the SmackDown series. I've gotten all those games like after, but SmackDown vs. Raw 09 was like my first wrestling game, right? And I created my character, and I believe I was 8 at the time. I was 8 or 9, and my character's name was Razor Rage.
Razor H.
Razor Rage. And that seems like some fucking big fucking buff dude, like looking like Brock Lesnar. And I'm here fucking 8 years old, fucking like weighing like fucking 70 pounds, 60 pounds. And my name was fucking Razor Rage. I had fucking tattoos all over my body. I had a fucking mohawk. Dude. Actually, so in 2012 and 2013, those years of FBW weren't recorded. We were kind of just doing like live events for like friends and family, right? But when we recorded our first event, Summer Chaos 2014 and Wrestle Bash 1, I was actually Razor Rage at both of those events.
That's pretty cool.
And then I changed my name to ALM because I was like, nigga, I don't look like no damn Razor Rage or whatever. But anyway, so back to what's the story behind Striker?
Yeah, with Striker, I remember I wanted to have a badass name.
Okay.
And like a name that would kind of represent what I was doing at the time, because I wanted to get back into like, I wanted to be more of the physical one, like the physical wrestlers, like that get up in your face, the one that's like kind of like how John Moxley wrestles, but not minus the deathmatch stuff. Like how he's like very aggressive and with his like strikes and all that stuff.
Yeah, he's like a badass brawler. Yeah,
like a brawler, and that's what I wanted to be based off of. So, and since I had a background of karate and martial arts and all that stuff, I wanted to go with like that type of backstory, like that kind of an idea for a name. And I thought of Striker, and I had a few other names, but when I thought of Striker, I'm like, all right, I can work with this. This is good. This actually makes sense, because I did jabs, punches, blah blah blah, and it makes sense. And I've basically just rolled with it since.
So you guys wrestle on a trampoline. So when you were creating ETW, so how was that decision to like wrestle on a trampoline made? Like, were there plans to just wrestle on the ground or like build a ring? Like, how did you guys just decide like, fuck it, we're gonna be a trampoline company?
That's a good question. I like that one as well. This is going back to when I originally thought about wanting to do a backyard company.
Mm-hmm.
We with the first trampoline we had, like the one in the
one that broke.
Yeah, the one that broke.
All right.
That one, my dad bought it for us one day. I had no clue we were getting a new tramp. He brought some mates over to build it up, and as soon as I saw the angle tramp, I just thought to myself, I definitely have to use this somehow.
I feel
And
that.
one of the first things I did after the trampoline was set up, I just threw myself onto that angled trampoline. I'm like, I can just imagine these are like ropes or something like that, you know?
So like when that thing was built, like you were automatically like, yeah, we're gonna wrestle on this thing.
I automatically thought, I'm like, okay, this kind of could like look like a ring in a way. Like you got the part you're meant to jump on is like the mat. You got the angle tramp, like something like the like ropes in a way, like
Mm-hmm.
you can run off them. Um, and then that's what exactly gave me hope that I could actually do something and actually make what I want to do like a reality.
So like, were you ever thinking like, damn, like I want to build a ring, or were you just like, we're just gonna use the tramp?
Oh, I believe I always had the idea
I mean, like,
that I
yeah, I mean,
wanted
I'm
to make
pretty sure like
it.
everyone who doesn't have a ring is like, like, man, I really want to build a ring, you know?
Um, I I think that came across my mind like once or twice, but I mostly wanted to actually, I wanted to make the trampoline look like a ring. Or,
Okay.
well, yeah, I wanted to make it look like a ring. And we, like, when we did our first few matches, there was no ropes on the tramp.
Mm-hmm.
For about like the first 2-3 weeks, we had it and we started ETW up. You
Mm-hmm.
won't be able to check videos out anymore because they were taken down from a certain someone. But Shattered Stars was the first ever Shattered Stars we had, which is when we went to Bunnings. I don't know if you guys have that, but it's like a warehouse where you can just buy a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff from it.
Mm-hmm.
And we bought ropes there, and we decided to I like tied those up before everyone came, and yeah, we basically made it look like a ring, and we got a bunch of people on it, which was pretty
Now,
sweet.
now, are like, is there plans to like build like your own ring, or you guys sticking to like the trampoline or whatever?
I believe we're happy with the trampoline, especially since we got a new one now. That's
Mm-hmm.
a lot bigger. It reminds me of the TNA ring when they had the 6 sides.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with how it looks. We've got the ropes, or a rope around it. It still gives that like still gives like the wrestling ring look.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bigger, it's easily better. We can have more people on it, like with Elite Mania 2 and the Battle Royal we did with
Mm-hmm.
6 people. Like we're happy with the trampoline. But if we have to do like wrestling on the ground at times, for matches and all that stuff, we're more than happy to. But
Yeah.
we would mostly would prefer to be on the tram.
I mean, as long as you guys are content and happy, I mean, that's what matters. I know like a lot of people like they shit on like our ring that we have for FBW because like it's a little bit like on the small side or whatever. And people are like quick to like shit on it and hate on it. But I mean, like we're having fun. So I mean, like if you're having fun, I mean, that's all really what matters in backyard wrestling.
Yeah.
Because everybody
It's
has their own like stories and like reasonings for like what they have and what they can't get.
Oh yeah, definitely. Honestly, I don't understand. Like, it's a ring. Like, it's made that small for a reason, is it not?
So the reasoning why the ring is small is so like it's no like secret that like we all have kids in FBW, and like now I have two kids because my son was born like literally like the other month or whatever. So we don't really have money, right? And I remember I took Chris Dynamite to his girlfriend's house one time, and she had a small little trampoline, like it was like an 8x8 or whatever. It was a small trampoline, and I looked at Chris and like I made a joke saying, "Huh, what if we turned that into like a ring or whatever?" And we were like joking about it, and then Chris was like, "Shit, I'll go ask her for the trampoline. Like she never uses it, from what it seems like." So he asked her, and she was like, yeah, yeah, sure. You guys can take the trampoline, which I have footage of like So basically, what we did was we tied the trampoline to my 2005 Hyundai Elantra, and I have videos of that shit. And we were going down the interstate. The trampoline almost fucking fell off the roof of the car. Like it was pretty funny. Um, but we bring the tram, and it's small, right? So we bring it to his house, right? And then we start to try to build the tram or like the ring or whatever. And we find out that his property line, like his property looks big, right? And like his property is where like the ring is or whatever. His property looks big, right? But the property lines aren't, right? And he actually has people who like come down to like the area and the property line and like bitch if shit's like on the line or over it.
All right.
But what we did was we put the tramp down right and we like, fortified it right into the ground so don't move. And then we built a wooden platform over the ring. So we put some plywood over the bouncy part, and then we put something in the middle, like under the tramp, whatever, to get the bouncy, part to like not bounce or whatever. And then we screwed on some ring posts and then like rope and all that crap. But like that shit costed, so we had like I think like a 250 like $300 limit, and we came like $2 like close. Like if we spent $2 more or more, we would have not had money for the supplies or whatever. But I mean the ring's fine. I mean, luckily like his dad does carpeting, so we got some carpet padding, which is not the correct padding for the ring. And fuck that, it sucks, but we got a couple sheets of that. So like, and then his dad bought the rope. So like, if his dad never bought those two things, we wouldn't have fucked with money. But that's why our ring's small. Our budget, the property, and like where our lives were. Like we didn't have much or whatever, but we still did it. And I mean, shit. I mean, I have fun wrestling in the ring.
I mean, with $300, you did a pretty damn good job with it.
Yeah, like I want to add like turnbuckle like padding like over, so like how like our ring has like the rope, right? And then like you can see like the bolts or whatever that the ropes go through. I kind of want to put like some sort of like padding over that and make it a little more realistic, but still trying to figure out like what I can do. Maybe like those like pool noodles I was thinking, but I don't know. Still trying to figure stuff out.
Oh
What do you
yeah,
call it?
definitely.
We're actually wrestling on a trampoline for this carnival show. Like we're actually going to be on a trampoline, and that's going to be a first because like we've never wrestled on a trampoline in FBW. We did like a little trampoline spot at WrestleMania 6 when me and Chris Dynamite traded some suplexes, but like it was like a quick thing and it was over with. But we've never done like a full match or a full show, let alone on a trampoline. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, if I'm correct, you guys have been able to do like every other type of wrestling you could think of.
Correct.
Ground wrestling, ring wrestling, mattress, anything really.
We
And
haven't
then
done mattress. We haven't
no,
done we haven't done in-house wrestling, and I highly doubt we'll ever do that because I'm not I fuck in-house wrestling. We've done public wrestling, like we've gone out to like a shopping plaza and did some like 24/7 title stuff because we used to have a 24/7 title.
I recently watched. I believe it was. Oh yeah, I watched the podcast. You explained it briefly to Gunny about that, I believe.
Yeah, 24/7 titles is kind of like a really hard thing, because like you kind of have to have like dedicated people, and like you got to be willing to like do shit like at any time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like when we made the title, like nobody ever wanted to really go out and like film, and it was just hard. So like I ended up having to like scrap the plan.
I mean,
I
that's
low
the
key want
only.
to bring it back though. I low key wanna, but
I mean, if you did something similar to what ESW Shockwave does with, I
yeah,
thought their version of the,
we
I thought
yeah,
their version
you
of it
could we
was,
could have gone the route of like the Anarchy title, where like
yeah,
it's
that's it.
24/7, but like it's like a main title. But
There's like a time limit, but they only do it in the arena, and you do like little spots around your area.
I mean that's not a bad idea, but I mean we are getting a new title because Gunshot, Chase Steele, he actually bought us a new title.
Oh yeah,
Supposedly
he
it's in. I'm waiting for him to like send a fucking picture. Hopefully he's not fucking like scamming us or whatever.
Oh, he's been scammed, so I think he'll know what it feels like to be, well, not exactly scammed, but betrayed.
I mean, he said he hasn't sent a picture yet, so I'm still waiting. Bitch
I
ass
haven't even.
gunshot. Where's that picture at? If you're watching this, if you haven't sent it by now. But so talking actually about gunshot, whatever. So you joined the BYWN, and you actually ended up getting really close with gunshot, a man that you didn't know a couple months ago. So how did this little friendship with gunshot like start? Whatever. How did you guys get so close?
Trying to remember this because it was like not ages ago. It was like 4 or 5 months ish
Yeah, because
ago.
the BYWN has only been up since what was it, like January? I think January, February.
Yeah, about that, and only I can exact well ish. Oh wow, gun well, him and me have been friends for about 5, 6 months now.
Hmm.
We've been friends for about 5, 6 months. I think I went to ask him something like I really needed like a second opinion about something, and I heard people go and like ask. I heard Delta, Jack Delta, since I
Hmm.
look up to him as like someone in the yard, which is a pretty good thing. Like, for people, when people come into the yard, they look up to people
Yeah.
for like, yeah, Delta was one of those people for me. And he said that Gunny is a really good person to talk to in a live stream. So I
Hmm.
just thought, what if I asked him and see what he would think about it and have his second opinion about it. And then we've pretty much been friends since then. We're always like always on chat like most nights. Now that he has a girlfriend, it's like it doesn't really interfere.
Hmm.
Like he always gets his time with her, and we get like our talking time, and we mostly just talk about like what he said on the podcast with you. We mostly just talk about ETW, what we're doing, what the plans are, and all that stuff.
I mean, well, let's talk about that also. So Gunshot actually bought ETW, legit,
Yes.
legit. So, what's the story about like you guys selling to Gunshot, whatever? Like, what was the story behind that? Like, what made you guys want Gunshot as like the owner or whatever?
Well, I was friends with them for 2 months ish for a while there, like around that, and he was talking about ETW and since he had when he had that coma thing,
Yeah.
yeah, he used to watch ETW then, and then he had the coma, and then he forgot about a bunch of stuff, ETW included,
Hmm.
and I forgot who introduced him back to it, but someone sent him a link to it, and he was like, "Oh, I remember this. This was, I remember these guys." And I remember him explaining that to me, and he always talked about it. He always like really enjoyed the product to me when we always like called and all that stuff. And I felt like it was about time someone should take over
Hmm.
for obvious reasons. Like we can't just have it as me, like, because I absolutely refused to reveal that I was like the owner and all that stuff, because I just wanted people to know me as a wrestler and not like the wrestler of CEO, blah blah blah.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of relate to that because like uh like being like the owner of FBW, which I mean now we do like the kayfabe story where Matt, like MJ, is the owner, which he's really not. He's just like storyline. But like I would get a lot of like, hate being like, oh, you're just the champ and this and that because you're the owner and you just book yourself to win and this and that. So I kind of feel that because like it really is annoying because like I don't win all my matches. I don't win the title, 24/7, and like Like I really give like other people time to shine and stuff. Like I'm only on top when like, you know,
You need to
needed
be.
and like when like people need a break from the other top guy, you know.
Yeah, that's the same with me. Like, it's not my fault that I always had to. I didn't exactly shove my throat down everybody's throats because I did multiple moves and all that stuff, and people enjoyed it. But then there was that point where people were being like, "Oh, you're only, you're booking yourself to win all the time," and blah blah blah. And I'm not like, it's not my
For
fault. I
real.
have to do this all. Like going back to like 2019, going back to 2019, who was meant to beat me then? All the guys that were meant to beat me left. So there was no one that could beat me. And then going into 2020 with Roadkill, I saw something in him and I easily thought I could make this work,
Yeah,
and
like when people be like, "Oh, you're the owner, you win everything." Like back in 2017 when I had the feud with Eric Danger after FBW ended or whatever and was taking like a year break or whatever, and we had a reunion show. And the feud with me and Eric Danger, it was built like I was gonna, win the final blow off match or whatever, because Eric Danger took me out, talked all this shit, and like this and that. And come the reunion show, the match that was built and obvious that I was gonna win, like I ended up losing that match. And then people want to be like, oh, you're the champ, you're the owner, you win everything, you're the champ because of it. Like, what the fuck?
yeah, some people confuse me so much.
Like another thing, like our wrestler Ruby. Everyone's like, oh, she's champ because she's your girlfriend, she's your fiance, this and that. She's only champ because of that, and like, but like, really, like, I gave her the title back in 2019 for the first time because I saw potential when we like discussed like what character she can do and what storyline. I saw potential in that. So I gave her the title. And what happened after that? She had a damn good fucking run. She was on fire. She literally brought fucking thousands of views, and shit. So like I just know
That's
talent where I see talent, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. I can see that in quite a few people already that we have in ETW. Like I previously mentioned with Roadkill, I easily, like instantly saw something with him. I didn't know what it was, but I saw something in him when we did that first match.
Yeah.
And he slept over that same night. I edited the first match between him and me, and the fan base that he generated in people like, oh, why did Strike win? Blah blah blah. It wasn't like a bad way. It was like this guy is good. Like this guy can actually take on Striker. Like we haven't seen anyone being able to actually do moves like him and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And instantly it clicked to me. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing with them. Now I can see it. I have the extreme title here. He's here. People want him. I can see this guy being better as a bad guy than a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next match he has, instantly we turn, well, not instantly, but like we make him dominate the match against his brother, which is Rex. And then after the match, turn him heel by holding in the submission,
Yeah.
whatever super hold it was. And then with a rematch that me and him had, people were pumped for it because, it's Roadkill. He's a bad guy now. He has this new attitude, like, and basically, like, recently, Striker and him, like, faced off.
Yeah.
And, and people wanted him to win. And what did we do? We had him win in a heel fashion. Like, he kicked me in my balls. He did a spear and he won the match. And then instantly he just exploded with like a fan base, instant fan base. Everybody's turning on me here. Like he was more popular than me, and I didn't mind that. Like I'm more than happy for people to get more popular than me. Like,
Yeah.
I can act like a bad guy and be something like, oh, blah, blah, blah. You fans betrayed me, these people don't deserve to. Honestly, yeah, some people do. Like I just find it as an excuse to generate heat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's an easy way to get heat, you know, and all that stuff. And Roki was a perfect example, but it was such a shame that he no-showed. Well, he basically quit the first time, then the second time he also just no-showed, so we had to fire him.
Damn. It really does suck when, people that like, wrestlers come into your company and like, they're really fucking good and talented and then they leave over some bullshit. Like us in FBW, we've experienced that so many times. Like people like fans might not even remember or know unless they're like a real fucking OG. Guys like Scott Viking from back in 2016. He so basically it was Russell Bash 2. All right. 2016, it was supposed to be Chris Dynamite, or at the time he was Drago, versus Colin the Beast. Colin the Beast ended up no showing, and my buddy Scott was there. And it was like a last minute random, like, oh fuck it, I'll replace him. And we were like, do you even know how to wrestle? Like, have you ever seen wrestling? He's like, oh no. He's like, can you guys train me real quick? I'll do it if you guys train me. So we train him, and he went out there and put on a fucking banger with Chris Dynamite. Sadly, all of his matches got deleted and shit because of some bullshit. Because the school was like bullying him. He was really talented, and it hurt to see him go because I had really big plans for him. Guys like Lavarius Walker, he was talented and shit, but he just decided to quit because he wanted to go down a not so good lifestyle path. But it is what it is. But yeah, it really does suck when people come and then they leave like that, especially when they're talented. You're like, fuck, man. Only if you just fucking were in this,
Oh yeah, definitely. I can understand that 100% with what you're saying. So like it really is unfortunate. Like the really, really good guys, like the really talented people that you can easily see something in them that they just don't harness it and they just don't want it. Like I don't know, they just don't take it really, and it sucks.
So you said you founded ETW with who again? You said it was like Cyclone, right?
Yes, Cyclone.
So I know what's happened, but you want to talk about what happened to Cyclone? Because you guys have some, beef or whatever. Like you guys had some issues. So let's talk about that a little bit.
All right, sure. I just want to clear things up first of all. I'm not exactly 100% on this, but I'm glad that he said something. Just recently he said, he messaged me saying, yeah, man, I'm like sorry about. Well, he basically apologized. He sent me a message
you guys
apologizing for. Yeah, he said like that was all me. I've matured up. I'm not exactly taking it 100%, but at least he said it. He
so
said,
do you forgive him or no?
I'm not exactly sure because I've had people go up to me and being like, they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. But they're not sorry,
Yeah.
Yeah. And
for sure.
Knowing him, he can be quite manipulative. So I'm not exactly taking it 100%.
So for the fans who don't know, let's explain like what happened between ETW and Cyclone.
Yes. So going with ETW, when him and me started it up, him and me recently started becoming friends again in year 7. This is all the way in primary school, by the way, but like why we became friends again. Year 1, I was friends with him, and then he just started, bullying me and got all these other people to bully me and all that stuff. So I pretty much had no one for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Met Sentinel, then I met Mute through him, and then, we got a bunch of other guys. Skip to year 7, the start of year 7, I'm in his class again. Like this is the 3rd time I believe I'm in his class.
So you guys had issues you guys had some issues even before ETW.
Oh yeah, way before.
Damn,
like
okay.
because I got bullied in reception and I moved schools. So he
Okay.
was the first ever friend I met in primary school, like in my new primary school.
And then he kind
So
of turned his back on you or whatever for a little bit.
yeah. Well, it wasn't
Uh,
for a little bit. Like him and me didn't want nothing to do with each other
oh,
for
so it was
years.
like it was for a bit. Damn.
Like it was years. And then in year 5, we briefly like did like a something of a wrestling thing, which really got me to like, which gave me that motivation to want to be a wrestler at school. Because I'll just make this brief before I go in with this drama him and he had. He off like this is why I got into wrestling, by the way. Since it was year 5, near the end of school, and he offered, he was like, hey, we're doing this thingy at like on the like a wrestling thing at the playground. I don't know if you want to, but if you want to do it with us, we got a bunch of guys. If you want to come down, go ahead and join us. And I had no clue what it was, by the way, like absolutely no clue what was going on here.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know what wrestling was. I kind of knew what wrestling was, but I didn't know it was like pro. Well, it wasn't even pro wrestling. It was like, I'll get to that, what I mean by that in a second. And then going back a few years, I was into wrestling. Then I got angry during a one SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 game when my dad was basically beating the hell out of me and the player character, like, in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I got angry at him, I tried to attack him, and then I got basically banned from wrestling, and basically I wasn't able to do anything to do with it, like watch
Damn.
it, do it, or anything.
So they thought it was
And then
going to cause you to be like a violent ass person type deal.
well, I mean, I had I was a like an angry person from other stuff, but they just wanted, like, they were just looking out for me.
I mean,
Like,
for sure, for sure.
they were looking out for me in my best interest. I don't blame them. Like I didn't know how to control my anger exactly. So yeah. And then a few years later, he offers me this thing in year 5. I say, yeah. And then I find out that he called it a Regal Rumble, GTS, blah, 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 Grim. And he
Mm-hmm.
had his own GTS championship he made, and it was for that. And you actually have to, you had to legit push them off the not trampoline, push them off the playground. Like, this wasn't pro wrestling. This was legit. You have to, like, push them off.
Okay.
And there was so many people. And I remember this because there was like the whole group of them. There was like, I want to say 8, 9 of them trying to push me off the playground. It got to that point, and I was just holding on for my life. And I don't know where the grip came from or the strength. They were pushing me for like a solid minute or two. They just couldn't budge me off. Like, I was right at the edge there, and they just couldn't push me off. And I just basically got back into it, and I can't remember who won it, but I remember eventually some other people did it, but they wanted to be like managers.
Yeah.
And they came up with the idea with me. I only did this because I didn't like Cyclone, by the way, here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why I said yes. I'm like, oh, I can get a bit of, just, immature me said, all right, you know what, sure, just to do a bit of payback, blah, blah, blah. And then I had a plan to, like, since I joined Cyclone's group and like his mates, I secretly signed like a little, as you like to call, like a little, like, those make pretend contract thingies. Yeah. I signed one with one of my other friends, and the plan was eliminate everyone, going with Cyclone's team, eliminate everyone, and then hop out purposely so I win the championship, right?
Oh shit.
We exactly do that. I am champion now. I'm like the GTS champion, blah, blah, blah. And, I'm like, yes, let's go. I'm champion. And then he came in the ring. He's like, yeah, good job. You won it. Yeah, yeah. And then there's my other mates laughing. And he's like, what are you laughing at? He's like, that guy ain't with you. He's with us.
Oh,
and then I
shit.
start laughing. He's like, wait, huh? And then they showed him. And then he's like, I got played here hard. No,
So I
you're
got
big.
played
You
here
can't
hard.
do this. Like, you can't change managers with like you can't change managers when you're holding a championship. You have to be stripped. Blah blah blah. So then I
Mhm.
got like immediately stripped off the championship.
Damn.
And then we had to do
Damn.
like a 6-man tag elimination. Blah blah blah. You had to throw them off the playground. Sorry, not trampoline.
No, this was all like for real, like not even
Oh
playing.
yeah, this is for real, for real. Yeah, yeah, for real, for real.
So you guys were trying to like beat the shit out of each other to get
We're
each other.
not beat no, we weren't beating each other up, but like actually trying to forcefully push each other off.
Oh, so it like all of the matches were if you got thrown off, you lost.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
When you said
And
6-man tag, I was like, oh damn, this is like a for real match. All right, but no,
I mean, no, we had 3 people of each other's choices. There was my team and his team, and the winner would, well, obviously if my team won, I would get the belt. If they won it. And I eliminated one of his friends, and then the teacher came and noticed and told us off, And
damn.
then the bell went, and I'm like, sorry, technically, did we win? Like, you guys didn't eliminate any of us. We eliminated one of yous. And he's like, nah,
Damn,
you
the
didn't win
fucking teacher
anything.
buzz killing everything.
I know. But the lunch bell went, and I was waiting for so long for him to do it, but we never did. Then skip to 2 years. Him and me, like I said a while ago, year 7, we become friends again. I offer ETW. He's like, yes. And then here's where the issues start. They pretty much started right from the beginning. I just didn't see it yet.
Mm-hmm.
He introduced, I recently got like a bunch of belts for Christmas, maybe? No, it was on eBay. We just bought a bunch of belts, right?
Mm-hmm.
That were on sale. And one of them was the TNA X Division Championship.
Okay. The old one or
And
like the new one?
old one, like one with the red X on it and
Oh,
stuff.
okay. Classic. I see.
Yeah, the classic one. And with
Because like they brought in a new one that looks like the Intercontinental title, like legit.
I don't even know about that just yet. I have
Oh
to check
shit.
that out eventually.
No, I mean like they don't have it no more, but like after the run with
All
the
right,
red
right.
X, they brought one that looked like the old IC title before Cody Rhodes like brought in like the white strap one.
All right, right. Okay.
All right, go on.
Interesting. Yeah. So, by the way, I was coming up with a name. We actually went through a few things, and one of them was TTW, which we didn't film anything, but that was like the original where ETW kind of
TTG.
came from. Like, it was
TTW or T?
TTW,
Oh, TTW.
TTW.
What
Yeah,
was it
it
like? Teens
stands
trampoline wrestling or some shit like that?
it stands for Total Trampoline Wrestling.
Oh, he
And
said, "Got to get that TNA vibe." Yeah.
yeah. And I had an undisputed championship belt, and we used that as our top title. But Cyclone wasn't in it. There was only me, Superion, which is now known as Mute, and then there was Sentinel. All 3 of us won the belt, and then that was pretty much the end of it. We tried to make it go on, but that was the end. And I thought about bringing it back for YouTube, but there was just something about the logo that was just lacking that I just didn't know what it was. And Cyclone, he's a pretty talented guy when it came to creating stuff. And he was the original person that came up with the ETW logo before we got the new one. Like the one that we had from 2019 to like 2-3 months into 2021. That was his design, and then the recent one we're using now is the one that I created.
Mm-hmm.
And we pretty much went with, and I'm like, all right, you know what, ETW, what does that mean? And then he just thought about it, and I thought of it, and I was like, what if we call ourselves Extreme Trampoline Wrestling? He's like, no, that would probably be like overused or something. We want to try and make this unique. Mm-hmm. And then I can't remember who came up with calling it Elite, but since AEW recently came out,
yeah,
one of us came up with the idea to change it to Elite, and then we worked with that. And X Division title. I brought that in. I designed the belt. Well, some of the belts I designed, some of the belts he did. I designed the original and the second design for the Extreme Hardcore title, whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
I designed the X Division title, right? And it was called the ETW Hardcore Championship, even though it said Extreme on it.
He said, "We're just gonna not notice that."
Yeah. And we had it so he would win it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he won it. And then this was by the way, this is like one day after school. Like he just randomly went up to me, he's like, "Do you want to film like after school?" And I'm like, all right, sure. And we filmed that first match, and he won the Extreme Hardcore title. You know, I was fine with losing that one because, we just recently started. Of course, one of us were going to lose,
Yeah.
And then the next day, pretty much, he went up to me. He's like, "Do you want to film again?" And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "All right, I want to bring in another championship for the company. So I made my own, and it's the Intercontinental Championship."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "All right, sweet, that's cool. Like, 2 titles is pretty good,
Yeah.
even though that was literally just him and me. I didn't know how we were going to make that work, but we just didn't think about it. We just went for it. First match, he declares himself the Intercontinental Champion, but he will defend it that same night. Him versus me. First match, like it was kind of like a 3 stages of hell, but
Mm-hmm.
there's like 2 stages. It's literally the same 2 out of 3 falls, really. The first fall it was only for 2 matches. The first fall would make you the Hardcore Extreme Champion, which I won. And then the second fall would make you the Intercontinental. And then that's where he won it. And then we had our champions. I was the Hardcore Extreme. Well, Hardcore, and then we later changed it to Extreme. And then he was the Intercontinental.
And it was only you 2 in the company.
Yeah. And then we brought in Terrorizer. And then
he said, "Fuck it, everybody gets a title."
We didn't, not exactly, but here's where I said I should have seen it coming, but honestly, it wasn't. It turned out well with those 2 titles at least, especially the Intercontinental. But Terrorizer came in. Cyclone said, "What if he won it, and then what if Terrorizer won it off me, and then I win it back at him at our next show?" And then we briefly talked about it, but then he just on the spot was like, "What if we had a show?" And I'm like, "Okay, but we've only been doing this for a week." And he's like, "Yeah, I know." All right. We filmed Terrorizer's debut. He does a contract signing with Cyclone, and then they do a match. Cyclone's like, "I'll put the title on the line."
Mm-hmm.
Terrorizer beats him for the championship. And then we had it planned that Cyclone was going to win it back.
Okay.
So Terrorizer neither one of them had even defended it like properly once. Like that first title match for the Extreme and Intercontinental, that was just basically him declaring himself, like him winning, like proving that he should be the first ever champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when he won it back at Shattered Stars, people got a pop for it. And the main event was meant to be me versus Sentinel and Superion.
Mm-hmm.
But basically that match went very much south and didn't go according to plan. And we're going to refilm it. But then Cyclone came with the idea. He's like, "Oh, what if I came in it with Terrorizer?"
So he's trying to get into everything or whatever.
Well, yeah, pretty much. And I'm like, "Wait, but you just had a match." He's like, "Yeah, I know, but we'll make this what if we got everybody here. What if we make this a 5-man fatal 5-way elimination tag for your title?" I'm like, "All right." And he's like, "All right, I'll win." I'm like, wait, huh? Hold up.
So now so pretty much he tried putting himself into everything and winning everything type deal.
Yeah, and then this is immediately where I should have seen red flags, but I just didn't because, I thought we were good. Well, we were good, but I just didn't see what was going on yet.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait a second. Why do you think you should win this exactly? Like, I haven't defended it once, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not once have I defended it yet. and you want to win this. You got your own title. I only just won this off you, and you want me to win this now. Out of 5 people, you want to win this. I'm like, nah, we're not doing that. How about we do like a thing with Siri? You go on your phone, you go on our Siri, there's 5 left here. Everybody picks a number, and then you do a Siri, pick a number from 1 to 5, and whoever's number that is gets to win the title. Luckily, it was my number, and I got to retain it.
Damn, so you really guys had to pull like a pick from the hat type shit to see who would win.
Yeah. Only because he wanted to win the title, and I didn't agree with that. Like, everybody else was fine with it, but just him, like, nah.
So he's trying to become selfish.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was fine with everything he was doing. Like, I was fine putting him over. I was fine with everything I was doing with him. But like when he said that, that really ticked me off because you know, I'm doing this as well with you. So why am I having to put you over when you already got something?
Right.
You know? Like you and me are the founders here. We're supposed to be working together. So why do you think
not against each other?
And then he decided since he was watching TNA at the time, he wanted to bring in a masked character. So his version of Suicide was Mastermind. And then he said eventually he wanted to reveal it was him all along.
So he played 2 characters.
Yeah, he was playing 2 characters. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And then he introduced a 3rd title, but he got Terrorizer introduced that after Shattered Stars. And who was going to face Terrorizer? Mastermind. Who was going to win it? Not Terrorizer. It was Mastermind that won it.
So he wanted to win everything and just
he wanted to win every single title, and he wanted to win all of his matches. And he was a very controlling person and very manipulative. Like
and I didn't exactly.
Yeah, he wanted to win everything, and what was funnier is that he also at the time controlled the Instagram account, the YouTube channel, because I didn't have a phone, so I couldn't edit any of the matches. I couldn't control the social medias and all that stuff. The only thing I knew about was the YouTube account.
Yeah.
But even then, I barely used it because he took control of it. And, I had no clue what was going on. Like, I trusted him, with social media. I trusted him that he was doing his job. Like, he was uploading stuff onto the YouTube account that we all had planned. All this stuff's going well. And then behind the scenes, people were saying Striker should get a push on social media. They were all DMing the Instagram account, and they're like, well, obviously, he wouldn't admit any of this. Actually, a fan told me this. I'm keeping them anonymous. But, they told me that them and clearly other people had asked him, stop holding Striker back and push him.
So people knew that Cyclone was in charge or whatever.
Well, yeah. And people saw something in me that he it was he wanted all the attention for himself. Like he thought winning all the championships and all that would bring him all the glory and all the fans and all that to him.
I mean, if you're not good in the ring and you don't have a good character, no matter if you have so many world title reigns or you are the world champ, you ain't gonna be glory and all that stuff.
There's always gonna be someone that's going to get a fan base and potentially even surpass you. It's nature. It's meant to happen.
That's just the nature of wrestling.
Exactly. And he didn't like that part of it. And he just wanted it all for himself. So he thought, if I win all the championships and I won all the matches and all that, people would like me.
Yeah, don't work like that.
People were asking, is Striker able to have his shirt off to make him look more professional? Not in a gay way or anything, how those pedophiles are.
Yeah, but that's cancer to backyard wrestling.
Yeah. It was just the general fan base wanting me to look more professional. And Cyclone was like, nah, he doesn't want to do this. And I said to him, I was also going to make an Instagram. People asked for that as well. He said, nah, he's never having an Instagram. He's
Oh,
never going to
so
make
then he
one.
started trying to tell you what you can and can't do.
No, he was telling them. I had no clue, by the way, what was going on. Like, I couldn't check any of this because I didn't have a phone. So he
Oh
was
shit.
doing this all behind my back. He
Damn.
was like, he's like, like every time someone asked him, is Striker getting an Instagram? Can he go more pro? He
So
was like,
instead of
nah,
saying, "Oh man, he don't have a phone," he's saying, "Oh, you don't want to. He will never do
no.
it."
Well, I'm not putting it that way, but he said he doesn't. Well, he just said from what I know, he just said he's never gonna get one. And he doesn't want one and he never will, or something like that.
Damn.
And he basically kept on shutting me down. He's like, and sometimes he gave his actual personal account to fans, to message
So it seems like
him.
so it seems like he tried turning your fan base against you.
Yeah, and he tried to turn all the fan base that was on Instagram onto him and against me and everybody else because he wanted all the attention to himself. And since I didn't have social media, he knew he can get away with trying to do that with everyone. And unknowingly, it got to the point where, he was getting more and more controlling, and it got to the point where, like, obviously I couldn't see it at the time, but now looking back, I realized how controlling he was getting.
Yeah.
And he wanted to win we wanted to do a champion versus champion match at Winterthorn. It was going to be me versus him. And I remember him going to me a couple times and asking me, hey, am I able to win that match? And I said, like, we had this plan already. Like, I'm winning. Like, you're gonna get
so like, were you two in control? Just he seemed like he had more of the power and didn't let you use yours.
Well, we were supposedly going 50-50 here.
But he kind of was making it like he had like almost 100 type deal.
Yeah. We told about it. We said to each other, we're having 50-50. You can, like, he controls the social medias and all that stuff. I do the booking, right? But it just felt like he started doing the booking by, like, basically most of the booking, right?
Yeah.
And, he started trying to, it was a noticeable difference that he was just trying to get, like, he always started, complimenting himself and all that stuff with the really crappy text commentary.
Mm-hmm.
He always complimented himself and never did with other wrestlers. And everybody was noticing that, like, in the back. They were all noticing he was just complimenting himself and not anyone else, and only him. And I noticed that as well. And I knew I was going to confront him about it eventually. And I believe he knew about it as well. But
yeah,
he left before it got to that point. And, he made all these promises to the fans on Instagram. He's like, oh, I'm going to be the first person to take off my shirt. I'm going to do all this for you guys. And, and what happens on my birthday, because we filmed like a bunch of matches in Winterthorn then, what happens? I go and I'm like, I take off my shirt. I felt comfortable enough to take off my shirt for him. So all the promises he made got thrown out the window.
Damn. So you did him dirty as revenge or whatever.
Unknowingly.
Oh yeah, because you said you didn't have the social media, she didn't know about all that stuff.
Yeah, so I didn't know about any of this. I didn't know any of this. I didn't know he promised fans he's going to have to take his shirt off first and all that stuff to surpass my popularity.
Like, looking back, you're like, fuck yeah, I'm glad I did that.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. I don't think he really tried to do much, but I think as soon as I had my shirt off and I said I'll do it for a match, I think he knew that day that was the last time he was ever come in there.
Mm-hmm.
But he just wanted to try and make him go out with a bang as much as possible, as well as trying to ruin my career. I'll get to that in a second. In the process.
Yeah.
And we filmed some matches with me, and then Mastermind had his shirt off, which is him. And then for the Winterstone match, he had his shirt off finally.
Mm-hmm.
And I pretty much forced him to do that unknowingly. And him and me put in a really good match, by the way. And we had plans that in a few months' time at Halloween, he was going to get his payback on me. But,
Okay.
well, he thought it was too late already. And I surpassed him in popularity, and he didn't like that. So he became second place, and he didn't like that. So he left.
So he quit.
And yeah, he quit. And he didn't exactly tell me until like a few weeks later, because we stopped filming for a while because some like family stuff was brought up.
Mm-hmm.
And amongst all of that, I was like,
just need like a break.
Yeah, and I said I was getting my phone and all that stuff as well, a new phone. I think he realized then there was literally no point on trying to.
Because like he knew you were gonna find out everything, and then he was gonna be like,
he
"Oh,
knew
fuck."
I was gonna find out everything if he didn't delete like some chats and all that stuff. Like,
I mean, luckily you had some
knew,
loyal fans who like told you, some stuff.
it was actually only one fan that told me.
Oh, really?
Like,
it was only one fan. Damn.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like most of the old fans don't really check us out anymore because I don't see their comments on it.
They just kind of, I've noticed that for like FBW, there are some like OG fans that used to comment back in the day, like that, like don't watch our shit no more, or maybe they still do. They just don't comment, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm pretty sure that's the case, but wish that some
Never
people
know.
comment. Yeah, but anyways, going back to Cyclone. He went and tried to basically ruin my career in the process without me knowing. And he said to this person, "Oh, he copied everything I said I was going to do. He did this all before me, and he stole all of these ideas or something like that." And then he left, and I was the fan favorite now, and I was pretty much the face of the company because we didn't have we had tag titles as well, and he won those, by the way.
Oh, jeez, what a shocker.
So he had basically, if we're going off what was actually going to happen with him revealing himself as, Mastermind, he would have had at one point the United Nations, Intercontinental, and the Tag Team Championships all
Jesus
at once.
Christ.
Yeah,
and these were all different characters or all the same character?
Cyclone and Mastermind were different at the time, but then they were gonna become like this. The revealed they were gonna be the same guy, like what the Suicide character did in TNA.
Man.
And I'm just glad that didn't happen because we can still call them separate characters right now, and we still can.
I mean, but now people know it's the same character, and that makes them look even more bad, Fuck it, though.
It wasn't ever revealed that was going to happen.
Until now on the Undisputable podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. And, well, I just find it funny because he, like I said before, he was meant to beat me in a few months' time. Like, he was meant to, like, after that, he had a knee injury, right? Well, supposed quote-unquote knee injury, which he didn't actually, but it was just an excuse to get him. He said that knee injury was just an excuse to get him off ETW for a while, and he was going to come back as a different character entirely and beat me later. And he was meant to beat me for it. And like a few months' time, like I was meant to just run face of the company or beating everyone. And then he would come back as like a face or something and then turn heel and then go for me and then beat me and basically redeem himself.
Yeah.
But that never happened. Even though that sounds something like he would act, like we talked about it. We talked about it before Winterstone. He was going to beat me afterwards to get his payback. But like I said, I guess him being second place or whatever it was, the cause, he just, didn't.
So after he left, like, has he tried coming back to ETW or like he's like gone?
Oh, he's gone. I originally tried to get him to be like a manager, and
So you
sometimes
wanted to bring him back for at one point.
well, when he left, like I left it for a few months, and then I asked him, do you want to come back? And he just said, nah. Like
So
that's not my
why did you
thing.
want him back? Like what made you think that like fuck it, he can be useful after all that crap that he went down?
Well, he was good. Like that's why I wanted him back. Like people still like.
So his behavior changed for a little bit.
No, it never changed. It's just I didn't see it. Like I said, I just never
Oh,
saw
so
it.
like it was hidden from you, so you thought, oh fuck it, we can try to bring him back.
Yeah, I just thought to myself, we might be able. I might be able to bring him back. Like and maybe he just wanted some time off. And
Yeah,
just give the offer.
everybody deserves and needs some time off from backyard wrestling, because I mean it is a
Yeah,
hustle, it's a lot to take in and do.
e- exactly. So that's why I just thought to myself, maybe the offer's there, and I'll leave that there for him. And I asked him, he said no. And well, he said that wasn't his thing anymore, and he just preferred to do boxing. And he's been doing boxing for a while now as well. But yeah, then after it, I guess he just really had to just focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, because he became second. And
Yeah.
then I asked him, hey, when I go pro, do you want to be like my manager or something? Maybe. Like I was being very generous here. I was like,
So you
what
were
if
kind
you
of
like
just clear the beef.
Yeah, I didn't see anything wrong between the two of us. But he just said, no, I don't want that at all. Like, all right. And
Fuck it.
yeah, and then here's where things really got escalated, which is why him and me haven't been like friends since. Which is it was right at the end of the year, and there was this girl one of his mates liked, and I was just I just wanted to talk to her because we recently became friends, and then
Mm-hmm.
his friend liked her, and then they thought I liked her as well, and then they kept on like pretty much annoying me, saying like, "Oh, you like her, you're a dog, blah blah blah."
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard that term before? Like someone's a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying that all the time, like every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, screw them. I'm just gonna hang out with this person, because we're friends.
Right.
And then I still wanted to be friends with them, even though they're doing this. So like I knew that they were just doing this because Cyclone basically just told them to do so or whatever. Like I said, he's a very manipulative person.
Yeah.
And like controlling. And one of like his mates, which were like my friends as well, like it was a game of Golden Child where I think have you heard of that game before?
No, I haven't.
All right, so Golden Child is a game where you basically you play on like a basketball court, and everybody lines up on one side of the like one in the corner, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you have to like soccer kick the ball somewhere, and there's two teams, and the team on the basketball court has to try and catch the ball or grab the ball and try to score a goal,
Okay.
while that person that kicked it has to run halfway to the court, run across the halfway court, and then run back to like the other corner of the basketball court, on the other corner. And one of my mates, I was on the same team as one of my mates trying to catch the ball, right? And he went to dive onto the ball on like it was concrete, so you can kind of see. And he was a goalie, like a soccer goalie.
Yeah.
So he landed on his elbow, funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I went immediately to him and asked, like, "Hey, you all right, dude? Obviously trying to be his friend." And
Yeah.
then Cyclone literally just walks right in front of me, ducks, and he's like, "Whoa, you want to give him some space or whatever?" Like he's hurt, and that just ticked me off, like. So you're telling me he's hurt here, and you walk in front of me, right in front of me, getting closer to him, and you tell me give him space.
Damn.
I was ticked off, so I basically give him like a little tap on the cheek, and he got so like heated, like he got so angry at me there. And then basically, the kid, like other people in the class were like getting in between us. Like I wasn't trying to get physical here, and he knew he couldn't get physical because obvious reasons.
He said, I would have whooped that ass.
I mean, like I'm a bigger guy than him, you know. Like I got a, you know, like
so you think you would have won?
Well, it makes sense. Like I did boxing as well at the time. I did martial arts. He only did boxing, and
So
like
you
a
were
little
like,
bit.
so you were like, I would have whooped your ass.
Yeah, I would have. Like that sounds egotistical, but honestly, I would.
I mean, if you know for a
we got into
fact, I mean, it's a fact, you know.
Well, yeah, and I'm a big, like it makes sense. I'm a bigger guy than him, you know. I can easily throw him around the place, and I know how to use the rest of my body. He knows how to use hands. Like, who do you think would win?
Right.
Like, I'm a leaner guy than him. I actually did weights and stuff, so obviously I have more power on behind me. You know, like even though he said, you know, oh, because I didn't want to get in trouble and, you know, make it worse.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously that would have been a factor, but I feel like mostly because, you know, I could have done something to him, which is also added as something in there. But when everybody was basically getting in between us so our fight didn't happen, he was basically yelling at me, oh, I'm going to get my mates on you. I'm going to get my mates to jump you and all this stuff.
Okay, so he can't beat your ass himself.
Yeah, you know,
that's foul. That's foul.
Yeah, and all over what? Some girl that you guys started to harass me about.
So that was like the last straw with them type deal.
Yeah, that was basically the deal breaker, and there was tension. It was only a matter of time of when that I was gonna snap.
Yeah.
Like after that, we basically just drifted apart. He basically just pushed me away, but I still just wanted his friend. And then when his mate was liking this person, and obviously I was friends, then that was when I was realizing, okay, we have a problem here, and this guy doesn't want to be my friend.
Yeah.
And then after school, you know, I came home fuming. Like one of the teachers asked, hey, are you all right? Are you fine to walk home? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. You know, if his mates try to get me, I'll bring him a fight, blah, blah, blah.
He said, I'll whoop their ass John Cena style.
No, I never said I was going to, but I said if I get, you know, jumped, I will bring a fight to them. Like that's their choice if they're gonna do it, but they're the ones that are gonna that's their, you know, that's if they do it. That I won't fight back, but if they hit me first, it's all game.
He said, I'm whooping their ass like John Cena versus the Nexus. Yeah, I'm taking their asses all out.
Oh God, gonna love the John Cena references.
Yeah, the man.
But yeah, so I walk home fuming. I get into the house. My mom's in the kitchen. I basically fume to her. She immediately tells I am pissed. Like I haven't been this pissed in ages. And she asked me what's wrong. I tell her the whole story. And since I didn't have a phone, I go into my laptop and then I get on it. Since I found out you can get Instagram on it, I go into that. And then I find out one of his mates are sending me threats that he will come over and headbutt me and all this stuff.
Headbutt.
And then threats.
All the moves, a headbutt. That would just damage the other dude too.
You know, that's what my mom said. She's like, this stupid kid, I would hurt him as well.
Right.
And you know, I was getting threats from one of his mates that are older than me. And by the way, his mates are all old. He basically has these older guys on me, right?
So he can't fight his own battles, so he surrounds himself with people who can do the dirty work for him.
Yes, exactly.
This man's foul all around.
Yeah, and then you know, I took screenshots on my computer, sent it to the principal, and you want to know what they did about it?
Nothing.
All right, you guys handshake it. It's almost the end of the year. Have fun.
This man, typical schools.
I know it's stupid. And so you're telling me every single time I got framed, because he can eat, like I said, manipulative. He can get his own way. Like his mom thinks of him as an angel, by the way. And the worst thing he got out of that was just a warning. Like, oh, if he does this again, he'll get suspended. Then what do you mean next time? There won't be a next time. Like, it's literally like 3-4 weeks left of school. Of the year, like we're gonna get a high school next year, and you're saying, oh, if he does this again,
right?
Like, and it really irritated me because his mom thinks of him as an angel when he's clearly not. Like I don't know. It really, nah. She sees that he does she in her world sees that he's her angel, and he's an innocent guy. He's an innocent boy.
Well, that's all mothers, I guess.
No, that's not with all mothers. My mom ain't like that.
Like, she said, if my son's a dumbass, he's a dumbass.
No. I don't mean it like that. I mean, if I'm wrong, she will talk to me about it like, you're wrong here. Like, if I did this, I would easily be like, I would be staying in my room, like literally nothing to do.
And then that's like when mothers are not like that, that causes kids not to be spoiled and shit and ignorant.
Oh yeah, but he's quite spoiled. Like, he doesn't have like the mansion or anything, but he gets spoiled with like.
I mean, spoiled doesn't mean you got to be rich. Spoiled can be like, if you're wrong, your parents. He
gets stuff that he wants. He gets stuff that he wants.
And if he's wrong, he's never told he's wrong. He's told he's right.
Yeah, I know. But he knows he's wrong. Like, he knows he's wrong, but he knows he can get out of it.
Damn. Well, I guess to lighten up the mood a little bit, because, we've been talking about drama for a bit. And before we wrap up this podcast, let's talk about dream opponents. So who are your dream opponents in backyard wrestling? Like, if you can go anywhere to any company, what are some dream opponents that you would like to face one day in the yard?
All right, first I was gonna say I didn't expect the podcast to be it's honestly been pretty quick already.
How long has it been? I don't know. Like,
it's been about an hour 30 out of hour 40 ish.
Shit, fuck it. Yeah. So let's talk about some dream opponents, and then we'll wrap this podcast up because it's just probably getting really late over there.
It's like, I don't mind. You can go for as long as it needs.
I mean, shit. My son is probably gonna be waking up soon. He's just chilling. He's chilling, sleeping right now. I'm just waiting to hear the wails of cries.
Yeah.
Fun times of being a parent.
Yeah, we'll probably have to do like another podcast and talk about other stuff anyway.
I mean, for sure. I know I'm gonna try to get Gunshot back on. I gotta get my co-host Chris Dynamite back on. Bitch ass wanted to start it with me or whatever.
Just make sure to buy Gunshot's t-shirts and
not Chris Dynamite. No, I think we're on the 4th episode and Chris Dynamite hasn't been back on the podcast. What the fuck?
That's a damn shame.
Yeah, fuck Chris Dynamite. Let's start the hashtag.
Yep.
Right. So dream opponents. So who?
Opponents.
You probably have a list. So who and why? Because there has to be a why with everyone.
Oh yeah, definitely. I had some of them on my Instagram account. I don't know exactly if I actually still want to wrestle some of them. I just go back to it quickly. So we'll give like a rough idea with some of them.
Mm-hmm.
BXB and Tom Nicholas from CMW, because they were the first ever Australian backyard wrestling company I've ever watched.
Okay.
And 2 weeks into backyard wrestling, I looked and I found them. So they're like also one of the first ever backyard companies I've ever watched.
Okay.
Maximus Roman from EBW, because like the work ethic he puts in, the matches he has, he's such a unique offense with the size he has and the strength he can like hold up.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like incredible. His mic skills are on point. Jack Delta. I've been saying like throughout the podcast, I look up to the guy. I feel like him and me can have a really good match,
Mm-hmm.
and it's mostly just like a dream, like a huge match of mine because I look up to him, and it would be like a way of saying thank you for being in the yard and all that stuff.
Yeah.
One of them were Matt Thunder, which is Kyler Coleman now. Obvious reasons why anyone would want to face him. He brings the best out of everyone. But since he's pro now, there's not really a point. Then going into my own, like off that, it would be, I want to say Gunshot, just because him and me are friends. And, I feel like him and me can put on a pretty good match. Like a good versus evil, even though he's going to become bad guy. But him and me can put on a pretty good match. Him and me have been friends for quite a while now.
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to wrestling Gunshot in the future when he comes down to Florida. Because like I've known him for like years or whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm sure that you'd be like more excited about the whole like trip than possibly he might even be. But Gunshot, and also ETW, he's the CEO. I'm one of the wrestlers there. Boss versus client, whatever you want to call him, employee. Stone Cold Vince McMahon. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, could work.
And there's him. I wouldn't even mind facing you since like you've been in the yard for one of the longest times, like that I know.
2012, yeah, almost 10 years.
Yeah, you've been here for like just as long as Gunny, if I'm correct. He's been doing this for about 12-ish years, I think.
I believe he said he started like doing CBW and F8 or HFW. I think back in 2015, I believe he said. So almost close as me.
Yeah, almost. But he's done like 9 other reach for the opportunity. So that's what I said. He's done this for about 9-10 years.
Yeah.
So there's that. You've been doing it for just as long as him. And you're quite a talented guy. Like you try to like you do your best easily. Like it's not, you don't see everybody every day having their own backyard fed. Making their own, getting their own like trampoline, making to a wrestling ring, and on that you also have 2 kids.
And I got this whole, and I'm bringing everybody together in the community or whatever with the BOIWN. So I got a lot on my plate.
Yeah, you got a lot on your plate, and like I said, this is also like a thank you thing.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to say, another dream match of mine would be Aaron Blaze from YBW and T-Bone from BCW YBW. Because I'm friends with him I've been friends with him for a while now. Since the start of the year, no, ever since Crossfire happened, I've been friends with him since Crossfire happened. And like him and me, I feel like him and me could put on a pretty good match, and the age gap isn't that big. It's like he's like a year older than me, so and him and me are
you both are pretty young.
We're pretty young, and him and he can get extreme, and he can change his style up. Like he could be a powerhouse, and what next minute he could be like a technician guy. Yeah. And same goes with me. Like him and me can mash styles together, and like T-Bone, because he is that hardcore-esque of him, and I like to get hardcore at times. I think most of us do in the yard, would want to like every now and then. Just put your body on the line for a while, like throw in some chairs and all that stuff.
Damn, you have some list over here.
Yeah. T-Bone, like I said, the hardcore side of him, I want to get a taste of, and get my hands on that side of him, and just see what we can do to just absolutely tear each other apart.
There
was another guy that's right on the tip of my mouth. Blaze, T-Bone. Yes, anyone from CPW, especially Devin or JJ.
Yeah, they're pretty talented up there at New Jersey or whatever.
Yeah, and CPW, Devin and JJ, like with his high flying skills, especially on a playground, like
Yeah, like they're taking
that.
bumps on like concrete slabs.
Yeah, like they're taking all this stuff and they're getting up like it's nothing. So, like throwing an Iron Man match stipulation, you got yourself something pretty good with
Which I
JJ.
don't
And
think I don't think they've done an Iron Man match yet. Or if they have, it was like way back and they haven't done it in a
yeah,
while.
yeah, definitely. Like JJ, because the high flying esque, something like Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles, you can get something out of that with him and me faced off.
Mm-hmm.
Devin, Devin will be fun since he's also a powerhouse, and I haven't really faced many powerhouse type people. So that would
Yeah.
be very fun
I've
to
been
do.
trying to
He's like
get
a
Devin to
powerhouse
come down to
brawler.
Florida.
Oh yeah, you very well can do that.
He
Like
wants to,
Devin,
but
oh yeah, he'll just need the money, even though the tickets are quite cheap, if I'm
yeah.
correct, right?
Yeah, Gunshot, he bought his ticket pretty cheap.
Yeah, he got it for like $23, but like you said before, you have a lot on your plate. Devin has like a bunch on his as well because I talked to him on a live a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he's got like 3-4 different companies he has to go and do stuff with, like CPW, DHW, I believe. He's
Yeah.
gonna go to another place
Well, he has
and
OMW.
oh yeah, OMW. He's got another place he's gonna do an invasion story on.
Oh shit, never heard
Um,
about that.
I don't know if he said it on the Instagram live, so I hope I can get away with saying that. If I don't, I
He said,
truly
"Oh fuck."
apologize.
Oh well. Oh man.
But
Well,
yeah, oh well, it happens. And just thinking of anyone for a few seconds now, just to think, would I want to face anyone else in the yard? I think that would be it.
he said, yeah. I mean, you got some list, but so before
Yeah.
we wrap up this podcast, is there any last words that you want to say to just the backyard wrestling community or like fans of you or anything? Open mic.
Well, all right. I hope everybody enjoyed this. Make sure to check out ETW Backyard Wrestling for, check out, like, so you can see my stuff. You can check, like, see other stuff from ETW, upcoming backyard wrestling promotion that won't be gone for, like to say, a solid few years. Like, yeah, around that. Like, we won't be gone for a few, like, years now to come. We're currently having 851 subs. The real guys all come from the yard.
For real.
Honestly, yeah. The real guys come from the yard. That's where the real stars are built.
And fuck those people like Caden Ratana who shit on backyard wrestling and everybody who, starts their roots here.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he came from backyard wrestling, but
yo, he is so stupid and toxic, bro, and ignorant, bro. He literally shits on backyard wrestling 24/7. Like ever since he became a pro wrestler, he's like, oh fuck backyard wrestling. Everyone in it is stupid. I'm above everybody. That's his mindset. Like he texts me all the time, just bullshit.
Hey, well, you never know. There's always another time for a second a podcast number dos for that,
Yeah, just start shit talking everybody.
And then one more thing, the most important thing you can do in life, look forward and walk forward. I made that quote up. I hope that no one steals it. I will copyright infringe it.
He said, fuck, I like it.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I think that's about all I have to say.
All right,
hope everybody enjoyed the podcast with Aries and me. I'm more than happy to be on here for another time.
For sure. I mean, we really got to work it out because like our time zones are so different.
I could do. Oh yeah, definitely. We can do another one like in a few days. Actually, no, we could do this like honestly, like legit in a few days because we have the holidays after tomorrow.
Shit.
So I can stay up for as long as I want.
He said, "Fuck yeah."
we can just film like as many podcasts as we need.
All right. Well, on that note, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this Undisputable podcast with myself and Striker. If you guys want to see Striker hop back on the podcast, let me know in the comments below or wherever you're watching this. And if you want some certain questions to be answered on the next podcast, I'm going to have Striker on it. Drop them shits in the comments below. And we will see you guys, whether it's on the ETW, BYWN, or the FBW channel. We'll see you guys next time.